Well, it was just a few hours ago that rain was pounding Cincinnati, Ohio, but it didn't deter these fans. But it was coming down and things were not looking good for playing a game tonight. But the grounds crew doing their work, doing their job to get that warning track cleaned up. They get the tarp off. The skies have cleared up a touch. They've taken care of the field. The tarp is in its place. And now we're ready for baseball. The Mariners continue their road trip. They're 2-1 in Baltimore, now come into Cincinnati to take on the Reds. Good to have you with us, everybody. Dave Sims along with Mike Flowers and the Root Sports crew here at Great American Ballpark in downtown Cincinnati. Let's take a look at the batting orders for tonight's game for your first place Seattle Mariners.
And no DH, so Marte is going to be in the leadoff spot. Aoki is out. Smith will hit second. Then you have Cano, a 10-game road hitting streak for Cano. Kyle Seager in May, a .375 average with 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. He has 12 extra base hits in the month of May. That is second most to Robinson Cano, who has 13 in the month of May. And then Martin, his career high in home runs is 8. He hit his 7th home run of the year in yesterday's ball game. For Dan Straley on the year, 2-1 record, ERA just over 3 and 41 1/3. He has 36 strikeouts, a lot of walks, 20 walks for him. Opponents just hitting .205 though. He's given up 5 home runs.
It's been a nomadic recent lifestyle for Dan Straley as the first pitch of the ball game to Ketel Marte is in for ball 1. We are underway. Didn't think it was going to happen a few hours ago. 1-0 Marte. Straley, 27 years old, started spring training with the Astros, traded to San Diego for Eric Kratz, claimed off waivers by the Reds on the 1st of April. 7:55 first pitch time, 45-minute delay, 59 degrees here in Cincinnati, and we are just thrilled to have the chainsaw. Tom Hallion working the plate tonight. Anthony Rendazzo at first base, Dan Bellino at second. Heck of an effort there by Cozart, and Adam Hamari at third base.
Take a look at the rest of the defense, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Billy Hamilton in center field. He will cover a lot of ground. As you look at the Reds, they are 13th in fielding percentage, and look right to the left side of the infield. Suarez, 9 errors on the year. Cozart, the shortstop, has 7. Tucker Barnhart going to be tough to run. He throws out 43% of would-be base stealers. Take a look at Dan Straley in his last outing against the Phillies. Pitched well, 5 innings, 6 hits, did not allow an earned run.
2-2 to Marte in his 4th time leading off, and he strikes out, 1 down.
And that was on the changeup. For Straley, an average fastball at 90 miles an hour. Also mix in a slider and a changeup, an occasional curveball. There you can see his fastball. Opponent's average hitting 246 and right there at around 90 miles an hour. His slider just 188 and his changeup 175. We talked about his numbers against lefties. Look for that changeup a lot today. He will throw the changeup mostly to the left-handers.
Here's Seth Smith, and he looks at ball 1. The Mariners, Mike, we have enjoyed them being some road tough guys. 15-7, best road record in the big. 6-0-1 in series, 4-0 in road rubber games too. Impressive stuff.
And averaging over 5 runs a game on the road. They've really been swinging the bats well, including in Baltimore. This is a great hitter's ballpark here. A little bit of a breeze, and it is blowing out towards right.
I was disappointed we didn't get a chance to see, because of the rain, we didn't get to see Nelson Cruz take BP in this ballpark.
Well, from the way the forecast looks, you'll have that opportunity tomorrow, and I think it'll be impressive.
Talking to Jeff Brantley, you and I were over there talking to him. He just went color tonight on TV for the Reds, and he talked about how ballpark just jumps out. The ball jumps out of here at the ballpark. 404 straight away. Here are your dimensions, 328.
Well, you look at those dimensions and you think that it's pretty fair when you look at it overall, but the ball will carry out. Typically there's a breeze and it will blow out towards right.
The other thing to know about this series, the pitching has been terrible for Cincinnati. 15th overall in ERA, and their bullpen has been worked early and often. They're getting no length from starters, and to say that the bullpen is a little ragged right now is an understatement.
They have a team ERA of 5.58. They've given up 71 home runs, far and away more than any other club. Closest in the National League is Milwaukee, who's given up 59.
And 27 home runs, 7th inning or later. Check swing.
So with the way that the Mariners have been swinging the bats, especially on the road, they wanted to get this game in tonight.
Yeah. There's no happier group of guys than at 25 over there in that third base dugout.
Exactly. We were talking about the bullpen. To get to him, you have to get past Straley first, and he's pitched well. ERA just over 3. He's really tough on the left-handers. We've showed that opponent's batting average is 121 for the left-handed hitters. The good news is his longest outing is 6 1/3, and he's only done that once. So with the way the Mariners can work over starting pitcher, I expect for them to get into the bullpen fairly early tonight.
Well, Smitty's at it already. 3, 6, 8, 9th pitch coming up. How about that? I mean, he's just been exceptional. Three and 2. Finds a hole, base hit. And here come the Mariners, their first hit of the ball game.
And the hot hitting Robinson Cano walking up to the plate as we take a look at Seth Smith. A fastball right in the middle of the plate. He can handle that one after fouling off a couple of tough pitches.
Robinson Cano, sensational year. Home run co-leader with Chris Davis, Todd Frazier, and Mark Trumbo with 12. Leads the American League in RBIs with 36. 3rd in total bases. Extra base hits. He's 4th. I mean, he has just been fabulous.
In Baltimore, he really picked up the doubles. And he now has 13 extra base hits in the month of May. That's the most. Kyle Seager had been leading in that category. Now Kyle is 2nd.
Cano in the American League, 8th in slugging, 587. Road batting average, tied for 3rd. Joey Votto holding on Seth Smith. On the button, backhanded by Phillips. Throws, just gets Cano. Nice play by Phillips in self-defense.
And this is something we've seen. Able to turn on the ball. Looks like a fastball. Inner half of the plate. Thought maybe it was going to be a base hit, but as Dave mentioned, Phillips making a fine play and staying with it. Good fielding second baseman. Good news for the Mariners as Smith is now in scoring position. Mariners on the year hitting .236 runners in scoring position.
Nelson Cruz with 8 homers, 27 runs batted in. Nelly career 2 for 9 against Straley. Struck 1. There you go. Good numbers for Cruz in this situation. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Playing pretty much straight up. Way outside the catcher. Barnhart is behind the left-hand hitter's batter's box.
And you saw the slider right there. We talked about the changeup against the left-handed hitters. He will use his slider more to the righties in the lineup. Right-handers in the lineup today is Nelson Cruz, Chris Iannetta, and Iwakuma, but I think Iwakuma will be up there trying to bunt most of the night.
1-1 to Cruz. Cruz just outside the top 10 in home runs. And he's lurking just outside the top 10 in runs batted in. Seth Smith at second. 1-2 to Cruz. Fly ball, right field. Jay Bruce is there, and that'll do it. Mariners straighten a runner in the first. Glad you're with us, and glad we've gotten this game underway here in Cincinnati. The Reds coming to bat against Hisashi Iwakuma. Veteran right-hander Sashi Iwakuma is going to get his first look at the Cincinnati Reds. Let's take a look at the Reds lineup.
11th in the league in runs scored. It starts with Zach Cozart hitting .328 on the year in his last 2 games, 5 for 9 with a couple of doubles. So he is a hot hitter. Then it's Billy Hamilton. Want to keep him off the bases. Leads the team with 8 stolen bases. Jay Bruce leads in RBIs with 27. Eugene Suarez, the third baseman, leads the club in home runs with 9. And for Iwakuma on the year, 1-4 record, a 4.38 ERA, 38 strikeouts to 14 walks. Opponents hitting .286 against Iwakuma.
What do you think Kuma's approach will be against this Reds team? First time he's seeing them, as you mentioned too, they're 11th in batting average, 10th in runs scored, 13th in hits.
Yeah, I think the first thing he's going to have to command is fastball. You'll probably see him use his slider a little bit more to the right-handers, and eventually he's going to want to put him away with his split. I think that's a big advantage for Iwakuma because the Reds have not seen him.
It's 2-0 to Zach Cozart, 9th in the National League in hitting. Strike of the evening for Hisashi.
He has all the pitches. His fastball will be 87 to 90 miles an hour. Of course, the great splitter. Mix in a slider and a curveball, an occasional cutter from him.
Ground ball hit to Marte. It's his time. Throws out Cozart, 1 away.
Take a look at the rest of the defense for the Mariners, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Seth Smith normally in right. He will be in left field. Aoki having the night off. Nelson Cruz out in right field. Robinson Cano, just 1 error on the year. We talk about his hitting for good reason, but he's played well at second base, and Chris Iannetta will do the catching.
There's Billy Hamilton, switch hitter, hitting just .230, 8 out of 10 in base stealing. Ball 1 from Iwakuma.
They must have some exceptional drainage in the outfield here. 45 minutes ago, the entire warning track was underwater. You can see puddles all over the outfield. It doesn't look too bad right now, although I have to imagine the warning track is going to be pretty soft. So the outfielders will have to be aware of that.
They were about to put in a call to Noah. It got so bad. Slap foul. Reds coming off a brutal series here at home against Cleveland. Got swept and were outscored 43-16. 1-2. Popped up, playable. Mr. Seager will settle under it in fair territory.
Take a look at Iwakuma and seasonal comparisons. When you look at last year's ground ball rate of 52%, his ground ball rate this year certainly is down, and they're obviously hitting the ball a lot harder off of him and hitting more line drives. Mariners will put the shift on with Votto hitting.
Joey just hitting .215. What is the problem? What's the word on Joey Votto hitting a .215 at this stage of the season?
He's having a tough time with the fastball in, from what I understand, and right now National League has noticed that, and they continue to pitch him in. Iwakuma going to go away right here.
2-0 to Votto. 6 homers, 24 runs batted in. Cincinnati coming in last place in the National League Central, 15-26. 14.5 behind the first place Cubs. Iwakuma 3-0. Here's how they defend against Votto. Out of Toronto, Canada. Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
And there's the fastball inside. Takes ball 4. Pretty good pitch. Had 3 fastballs. Did not get the call. All of them inside. Tom Hallion to open things up a little bit for Iwakuma. Those were quality pitches. Take a look at the last pitch. Two-seamer. You can see Iannetta set up on the outside corner, and that's the reason why he didn't get the call.
Brings up Brandon Phillips. Second baseman, hitting at .257, 6 homers, 19 runs batted in. Fouled off the glove of Iannetta for strike 1. Phillips struggling. 0 for his last 11. His longest hitless streak so far this season. Late swing, fouled it off. There you have it. There's detailing some of his struggles. Brandon, 34 years old, out of Raleigh, North Carolina, lives in Stone Mountain, Georgia now.
Outfielders had been straight up, but they're shading towards right now. Everybody's moved over a couple of steps with 2 strikes on the hitter.
Chop foul. Phillips in his 11th season with the Reds. Made the All-Star team 3 times. Comes into this season a career .273 hitter, trying to shake it off. Tom Hallion giving him a few extra seconds. First game of interleague play for the Mariners. They're playing the National League Central this season. 0-2, way outside. Just underway down in Houston. The Rangers playing at the Astros. Oakland is hosting the Yankees later on tonight. All 2 strikes. Another foul off by Phillips. Angels have picked it up, beating up on the Dodgers the last few nights. They are at home with Baltimore in town. That'll be a 7:05 Pacific start time. Iwakuma trying to put Phillips away. He drives one to the gap. Long run for Seth Smith. He's been getting a lot of running this year. This one off, or this week rather. That's off the fence. Here's Marte. Got a chance to get Votto. Got a good chance, and he is safe. He dropped the ball. Iannetta came over, was there in plenty of time, and the ball fell out of his mitt. Goodness, tough break. Ball was there in plenty of time.
Well executed relay by the Mariners. You see it come off the wall. Seth gets it in quickly, hits the cutoff man Marte. Marte has plenty of time. Unfortunately, the throw is up the line a little bit. You can see Chris go to get it. Skips off the grass. Grass is probably damp, and he wasn't able to handle the throw. Otherwise, Votto probably out at the plate.
So the Reds are on the board. Brings up Jay Bruce. .281 hitter, 8 homers, 27 runs batted in. Phillips at second with a double, his 8th. RBI is 20th.
Talk a lot about some of the struggles that the Reds have had, but one of the areas where they've done a pretty good job is hitting with runners in scoring position. Hitting .281 as a team, runners in scoring position this year.
Given all their other numbers, didn't that surprise you when you saw that?
Yes, it did.
They had the same thing. You hear about, you read about, look at the numbers, struggling at 281 in that department's impressive. 0-2.
Well, especially when you consider they're 11th in hitting in the National League and have that high batting average, though the few times that they're having runners out there, they're doing a pretty good job of picking them up. They're last in walks, 14th in on-base percentage in the National League, so they've really struggled offensively.
Play Bruce straight away. Now time is called.
You know, and given those numbers, Dave, it's probably the reason why they're all the way up to 10th in runs scored, because of the job they've done hitting with runners in scoring position, because they have been limited to the chances.
0-2 here. That's a foul ball fielded by Adam Lind. Good start to this road trip. 2 out of 3 against the Baltimore Orioles. And one of the real bright signs yesterday, well, a couple of them, Carnes, in spite of the fact that he turned out he was sick, that's why he only went 5 innings. But to see Adam Lind get a home run, bled one over the wall at left field, it counts. That was good to see him get going.
Hitting it the other way, you hope that that will get him started. Doing some damage to the right-handed pitching.
3 defenders right side here for Bruce. 0-2 count. There's a chainsaw. Strike 3 called. Jay Bruce gone. A run on a 1 hit and a man left. Enjoy the chainsaw. Tom Hallion with a great call. We love it. More rain on the way. Hopefully it'll blow off course. There's a grounds crew showing the radar to Tom Hallion, the crew chief. Tommy getting a good look at it. Probably hear a lot of, come on boys, pick it up.
I'll guarantee you that will happen. We've played in a lot of these games, and obviously there isn't anything you can do about it other than be prepared to go right away, and the umpires do a pretty good job.
And you may want to swing the bat. Here's Kyle Seager. Seager, Adam Lind, and Iannetta, 5, 6, and 7 here in the second inning. Kyle at 253, 8 homers and 24 runs batted in. He's been on a nice tear recently. He, Cano, and Cruz have been a very dynamic trio in the last few weeks. He's got a 2-0 count here. Strelly pitching him like he's seen some recent Kyle Seager highlights.
Being very careful.
4-pitch walk.
Kyle's been picking up his walks the last few days. He had 3 a couple of days ago, had another walk yesterday, and now starts the game with a base on balls right here. On base percentage moving up.
When he walked on Wednesday, it was Tillman. Yeah, Tillman, I believe it was. Yeah, walking 3 times. Look, he wanted nothing. Didn't want to have anything to do with him.
Yeah, and one of the things that they'll do is when they'll go through their scouting report and they'll list a couple of players who are hot, and obviously it helps Robbie because Kyle has been so hot that you have to pick one of the 2 that you don't want to deal with. And I think because Kyle is hitting just a hitter behind, and you have Nelson Cruz waiting on deck, but when Kyle gets up there, I think they were being very careful for a good reason. And he'd already done some damage in that series.
Here. Adam Lind, career .379 batting average against the Reds with 7 home runs. Hit a home run in yesterday's game to left field in the 6th inning. Adam at .224, 3 homers and 12 runs batted in. Also has 3 doubles. They have the shortstop playing right behind the bag. Like a diamond formation there with third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, the pitcher. Outfield pretty much straight away. Base hit, Adam Lind. Seager to second, will get to third with these. And Adam Lind, he's heating up.
That is a great sign. Now we'll take a look at the swing. This is on a changeup. He's able to keep his hands back just long enough. He'll be out in front of it a little bit. He's so strong, though, still able to hit it hard into right field.
Lind 1 for 4, 3-run homer yesterday. Seager at third, Lind at first. Brings up Chris Iannetta, 2 for 9 career against Dan Straley. Bounce foul.
Gave you the numbers for the Reds in the National League. In the American League, the Mariners 10th in hitting, but they are 4th in runs scored, 3rd in home runs. They are 5th in slugging, 4th in base on balls, and 7th in on base percentage. Pretty good numbers for the Mariners offensively.
Here's how they defend Iannetta. 0-1.
That was one of the few curveballs you're going to see from Straley. Typically to the right-handers, he will stay with his fastball and slider. That curveball at 74 miles an hour.
Straley, 27 years old, out of Redlands, California. Here's the 0-2 to Iannetta. Outside. Runners hold. Straley went to Western Oregon University in Monmouth, Oregon. Played for the Wolves and then transferred to Marshall University, Huntington, West Virginia. The Thundering Herd, one of the great nicknames in college sports. 1-2 to Iannetta, 2 on. Two and 2.
Reds are straight up in the outfield, playing Chris to pull on the infield.
Two hits so far in the road trip for Iannetta. 2-2 pitch coming. And the foul tip held on by Barnhart. Just strikeout number 2 for Straley.
Well, we're talking about his slider, and you can see the average of slugging percentage against it. Not much, just 188. Changeup his best pitch, 175 slugging, 375 off his changeup. So if he leaves it up in the zone, you can do some damage. But overall, it's one of his better pitches.
First 2 men have reached now. Leonis Martin, 1 out.
I was surprised, and I went back and looked it up yesterday after he hit his 7th home run on the season, that his career high was 8.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was like 12 or 13.
That's what I thought. going into the season after watching him hit in spring training, I thought that he would be somewhere between 12 and 15 on the year. Well, he's off to a great start as far as the home runs go. Good to see him on base, including the home run. He was on base 3 times yesterday.
And love watching him play in center field. Got to go to work here. 0-2. He's 2 for 9 career against Straley.
You'd like to see him put the ball in play right here. Iwakuma, the pitcher, waiting on deck.
There's Lynn breaking for second and getting there safely.
And a good break.
Be a wild pitch.
Yeah. And a nice job by Adam Lynn anticipating the ball in the dirt. He took off right away, even though it was right out in front of the catcher. Take a look at Barnhart. They want that pitch down in the ground. That's where he gets it. At that point, Adam's already taken off.
Base hit will give the Mariners the lead here, 1-0 on a Brandon Phillips RBI double. 2-2. Martin provided some welcome insurance last night or yesterday afternoon. A ball hit to right center field out of Camden Yards. Is Iwakuma gonna have to swing the bat here at some point today, and maybe this inning.
Well, hopefully he'll expand the zone a little bit, put the ball in play. When you have the pitcher waiting on deck in these situations, it can be difficult for the guy hitting 8th because you can see that pitch up out of the zone. I think most managers would rather take their chances on him swinging a pitch that's just off the plate as opposed to just taking the walk, and then you have Iwakuma walking up there who hasn't hit all year.
Good chance for the Mariners with 1 out. Runners at second and third, and that pitch outside, ball 3. Seager opened the inning with a walk. Base hit Adam Lynn, base hit to right. Martin, a 3-2 pitch.
And you can see Straley not giving in to him. First base is open. Already has 1 out. Throws him the changeup down. Barnhart, the catcher, making a trip out to the mound. And all of this going on because you have the pitcher, an American League pitcher, waiting on deck.
If Martin shortens up his swing, he's had a long swing this year. You agree with that?
Yeah, and they've talked to him about it, and he's trying to do that just to be more consistent.
3-2. Second and third, and the bases are loaded. Second walk issued by Straley. He's got 2 strikeouts. And this is an American League grouping. You wouldn't sweat this, but now you sweat this because Iwakuma limited bats career.
Yeah, the main thing that, and I talked to Rick Riz about this on the radio side of things, is just his overall health. They're not used to swinging a bat. They're not used to running.
Exactly.
It's one thing to get your distance running in between your starts. Another thing to have to sprint.
Explosive.
Yeah.
Try to get out of the box in a hurry. I'm sure over the course of interleague play, which date back in '97, a lot of pitchers have done hips and hammies trying to explode out of the box. 0 for 9 in his career. Fairly athletic swing. 1-2. Straley ready. Bases loaded here for Iwakuma. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's another day at the office for a National League ball club, but for the American League coming over here to play, totally different situation. There's 2 away. It's the 3rd strikeout for Straley.
And as you would expect, all fastballs. Last fastball right down the middle.
I like your suggestion. We talk about it all the time. When the American League comes over here, play the DH. When they come to our place, don't.
No, right. Seeing Iwakuma strike out right there isn't all bad. If he hits the ball on the ground, he's probably going to hit into a double play. At least this gives Marte a chance to drive in a run.
25th pitch by Straley.
Let's see, 45 pitches overall.
Marte struck out in a 2-2 pitch to open up the ball game. This is his 4th time in the leadoff spot. Look out. 0-2. Mike, you need to use your influence and call New York and say, hey, fellas, we got something here, you know? American League to the National League, we DH. Flip it the other way.
Trust me, I've brought it up in the past.
Hey. Oh, 0-2. Chopper to 3rd. Easy play for Suarez. Touches up 3rd, and that'll do it. Mariners threaten, don't score. Straley, they did make them work. They did blow up that pitching count. He's got a 1-0 lead. Seattle Mariners baseball here on Root Sports, being brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. And by CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partners in health. Learn to stay Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org. Here we go, the home second. Eugenio Suarez, the 3rd baseman, leading off against Iwakuma. That one fouled off the mask of Iannetta. 1-1. 6, 7, and 8 here. In the order for the Reds, Suarez to be followed by Adam Duvall, the left fielder, and Tucker Barnhart, switch hitting catcher.
You can see, looking at those numbers, that Suarez has some pop in his bat. 9 home runs on the year.
Iwakuma gave up a 1st inning RBI double to Brandon Phillips, who scored Joey Votto, who walked on 4 pitches with 2 outs. Two and two. Mariners defensive alignment. Story on ESPN.com. Jason Stark talking about the competition committee looking to make some changes with the strike zone for next year. Here's a 2-2. Fouled off again. They want to change the intentional walk rule. And the new intention, if you're going to deal an intentional walk, the hitter just will immediately be sent to first base without having to throw the 4 pitches. 2-2. Off speed pitch, fouled off.
Over the years, you and I have called a lot of games. When's the last time you saw a pitcher throw one to the backstop?
Once or twice.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just trying to speed things up.
Mm-hmm. 8th pitch of this at bat. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back chainsaws for Sashi Iwakuma. 2 strikeouts looking.
It's going to be the fastball. 2-seamer. Nice job by Chris Iannetta to frame that pitch. Suarez didn't like it. I think it was definitely too close to take.
There's a Adam Duvall, left fielder. Strike 1 to Duvall. Nice to see Iwakuma get into a good rhythm and get that command back to what we're used to seeing.
Well, if he can do that and quickly ahead here, then he'll make the Reds be a little bit more aggressive and hopefully get some quicker outs. Stay in the ball game a little bit longer.
There's the 0-2 to Duvall. And he finds an open hole. They were shifted to the left side, and he beat it to the right side. 1 out, 1 on here in the Reds' second. Mariners aren't the only thing that's red hot. So is Sriracha Night, presented by 710 ESPN Seattle, coming up this Wednesday. The special ticket outing includes a main level seat, a Sriracha beanie, and menu item. Tickets for the special event, they're available only at mariners.com/Sriracha. That strike zone proposal. Raise the lower part of the strike zone to the top of the hitter's knees.
Raise it.
Ball 1 to Tucker Barnhart, the catcher.
I guess the pitching has been so dominant over the last few years, trying to help the hitters out.
And the current rules stipulate that the zone begins at the hollow beneath the kneecap. Trend by umpires to call strikes on an increasing number of pitches below the knees. Here's the 1-0. Barnhart, the catcher, hitting at .233, a homer, 7 runs batted in. Tough start for these Reds. 15 up, 26 down, 14 out. Shift on again here. That got his attention. 2 balls, 1 strike.
The Mariners have the shift on it. Kyle Seager had been playing in. Once the strike was thrown, he had moved all the way back to the normal shortstop position, but now you can see him walking back up again.
Reds are a respectable 12-12 at home, but they've been pummeled on the road. 3-14. 2-1. In there for a called strike 2. Last 2 years been rough for the Reds. 64 wins last year, 76 the year before. Brian Price, sometime Mariner pitching coach, is the manager. in his 3rd year. He replaced Dusty Baker, who was here for 6 years and made 3 playoff appearances. There's Bryant. Iwakuma 2-2 here. Missed away. You look at the Reds, so many folks on the disabled list, including a top pitcher like Homer Bailey.
We talked about it. Their big issue is their bullpen. They no longer have Chapman either.
That's a big loss. 3-2. Backing up is Martin. Makes the catch, 2 away. Coming up tomorrow, CenturyLink, what's next? John Lamb will face the King, Felix Hernandez, 3-3 with a 2.47 ERA. And you know, Felix is excited to swing the bat. I'm sure before tonight is over, if he doesn't already have one, he's probably got a bat in his hands as we speak.
He may be in the cages right now. Getting ready.
Here's Ted Straley, the Reds get pitcher. Felix 1-0 against Cincinnati in his only start. Straley is 0 for 10 on the season swinging the bat. He's got a couple sacrifices down. He's got 2 outs here. 1-1 count. Iwakuma looking to put him away and end this 2nd inning. Clouds still look pretty ominous as we look out towards Kentucky across the Ohio River. But hopefully an oncoming cell will either be slower or will dissipate and we can get the 9 innings in. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, got him. 3rd strikeout for Iwakuma. We go to the 3rd inning. Reds lead it 1-0. 59 degrees, still threatening skies, but we got this game underway. 1-0 Cincinnati. Brandon Phillips, first inning, 2-out RBI double. Brings up Seth Smith here for the Mariners to start the third. Smitty, Cano, and Cruz, 2, 3, and 4. Seth, first time up, single to right.
Mariners have been able to put a lot of pressure on Straley early in the ball game. They had runners in scoring position in the first 2 innings. Great opportunity last inning. Weren't able to capitalize on it. But the next pitch will be 50 and getting a little bit closer to getting to the bullpen of the Reds.
Look at those numbers and one word comes to mind: fire starter.
Yeah, they have really had their issues out there in the pen.
Two and 1 to Seth. 2-2 now.
Take a closer look at the pen for the Cincinnati Reds this year. You can see the ERA right around 6.5. That's last in Major League Baseball. Allowed runs at 34, 41 appearances, which is a lot.
Seth takes outside for ball 3.
As you mentioned earlier, they've given up a lot of home runs late in games. That's really hurt them.
27 after the 7th inning.
Robinson Cano waiting on deck.
Somebody hits right into the shift. There's Brandon Phillips, the rover out there. Mariner Moose invites all youngsters to head to center field the next time they're at the ballpark. There they can check out the Seattle Children's Playfield, plus stop by the Moose Den to have their picture taken with the best mascot in baseball. You know, Mike, we just saw that ground ball to Phillips out in short right field, and I was over on radio with Rick Riz the last 3 days, and Rick brought up a good point. We talked about it a while. You rarely see anybody in spring training practice fielding balls out there and then making a throw. And given how everybody and their brother's shifting like crazy, that might be something you need to add to training repertoire.
Well, and then the other thing that we've seen along with the shifting is on that position, especially this year, we've seen it with Cano, is he's probably playing as far out towards the right fielder as we've seen him any year.
Oh, yeah, especially the last couple of days. Yeah. And not many guys have that throwing arm that he has.
You're right. And I think there was a play earlier in the year. Robinson Cano has 1 error on the year. And it was when they were in the shift and he was playing extremely deep and he had to backhand a ball. And it was one of the first times I've seen him rush the throw.
Good point.
I think it's just because he's not used to that timing mechanism that you have as an infielder.
There you go.
And after that, he's obviously made the adjustments. But, you know, it's something that you have to get used to. It's one of the reasons why Scott Servais said in spring training they were going to shift a lot over the course of spring, even if they didn't necessarily have all the data, just to get these guys used to being in those positions and the way they wanted them separated from each other and the range that they would have in those situations. They have to practice it.
We've seen, you know, other second basemen have to rush plays like that. And the other thing, too, ball coming off the dirt hard and then gets into the grass. You know, that, you know, you're not necessarily used to it, and from that angle, too. Two to Robbie. In Baltimore, we saw Alvarez, a third baseman. He was out there in that rover spot.
And that had to be really uncomfortable for him.
I hear you. 2-2. Joey Votto to the bag for out number 2. New age of baseball. I'd love to see Cruz get into one here. Nobody on, 2 out. Flied out to right on a 1-2 pitch. His first time up. He's 3 for 10 against Straley.
He ended the first inning with that fly ball, and I think he had a slider up out over the plate and just missed it.
Straley with his 4th big league team. Oakland, the Cubs, Houston, and now the Reds. 0-1 pitch to Nelly. And he's behind 0-2. Phillips moving over to the left side of the infield. Pitch outside. There's Brandon, second baseman.
61 pitches, 34 strikes. So a lot of pitches for Straley here in the early going.
1-2 to Cruz. 2-2. During the rain delay, I was impressed by people who got here to the ballpark when it looked at its bleakest, and there was some sitting out in the lower bleachers in left field, some in the upstairs bleachers, not a lot of cover, and then some here on the first base side. Strike 3, got him. Fourth strikeout for Straley. Well, Tom Hallion's got the chainsaw working here tonight. 1-0 Reds. And this is the first Mariner called out on strikes tonight. Great Hall of Famer Sparky Anderson would say, Cincinnati, Ohio. Reds fans, been a tough go for them. And Zach Cozart, as we get back to the top of the order, Zach Cozart, Billy Hamilton, Joey Votto here in the third against Sasashi Wakuma. Wakuma struck out 3, walked 1. The one walk did score. This one hit well. Center field. Martine's going to watch it sail up on the berm and out of here. Zach Cozart with his 5th home run. RBI number 16.
He's been a hot hitter, having a good year. Started the game hitting .328, only 4 home runs for him. But in the last couple days, he was 5 for 9 with a couple of doubles, and he puts a charge into this pitch. Looks like a fastball, 86 miles an hour. Had some sink to it, but he barrels it up. Straight away center field. 404 feet to center field. He hits it up on the grass.
5th home run given up to a right-hand hitter by Iwakuma. As Billy Hamilton steps in. 6th home run overall for Kuma. Hamilton pops it up. Martine calling everybody off. 1 away, a run in. Take a look at our Delta Airlines. Keep climbing standings. Mariners enjoying first place, game and a half lead. over the Texas Rangers, who are playing the Astros right now and lead 2-0 at Houston. Angels a little bit later, Oakland a little bit later. Angels will be hosting Baltimore. Oakland hosting the Yankees. That is a fair ball, nicely fielded by Adam Lind. Take away a base hit from Joey Votto. A 2-0 lead here for the Reds here in the third. Nice play by Adam Lind.
Fastball. They wanted to go away. Ended up on the inside corner. And you can see it bounce right over the corner of the bag. Adam Lind taking a look. Tony Rendazzo, the first base umpire. Quick out for Iwakuma.
Votto, first time up, walked on 4 pitches, scored on the Phillips double. Here's Phillips now with a run in on the homer by Cozart. And 2 outs, nobody on.
Phillips with a double and an RBI. Hit it out to left center field. Short hop the fence.
Broken bat looper. Here comes Martin. He's there. Highlight of the inning for the Reds, the home run by Zach Cozart, his 5th. Hit it in to deep center field, over the fence and onto the berm. 2-0 Cincinnati. Nothing over the Mariners. Time now for our Geico This Date in History. Take you back to '94. Ken Griffey Jr. became the 3rd youngest player to reach 150 career home runs. Melvin Thomas, Ott, Eddie Matthews. Mariners won 19-2 at the Kingdome against Texas. And tomorrow, dual bobblehead night here at Great American Ballpark. That is unique. See if the Mariners can get going. They have just 2 hits. First inning, Seth Smith single to right. Second inning, Adam Lind base hit to right. 2 other base runners via walks. Trailed 2-0. Kyle Seager, the hitter. And there's base hit to get things started.
Second time Kyle has been on base. Walked in the second inning. He has really been hot. You look at Kyle over the last 21 games. He's reached base in 20 of 21. Coming into this one, hitting .380. That average just went up. 11 runs scored, 8 doubles, 2 triples, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 10 walks, now 11.
Good numbers after a slow start. Here's Adam Lind.
We'll take a closer look at Straley and his out pitches. Because if he needs a ground ball, he'll go to a slider changeup, and they're pretty good pitches at 53%, 52% on the ground. If he wants a strikeout, he'll go to the slider, his changeup as well, and occasionally the fastball.
Want to note, Adam? Steadily raising his batting average. Popped up. Short left center field. Billy Hamilton taking charge. We'll bring up Chris Iannetta. Chris, first time up, struck out on a 2-2 pitch. Straley's got 4 Ks and 2 walks thus far. He was doing even extra contemplating, remembering how he was attacked last time. See what gives here. Strike one.
And that's basically it. He stayed away with the fastball and the slider off the plate away. Another fastball.
0-2.
He has some movement to his fastball. The 2 fastballs that Chris has taken out of his hand, it looks like they're going to be off the plate away, but he's running them back onto the corner.
Took it farther outside, ball 1.
Yeah. He's trying to expand the zone with a slider that time.
Seager back. Tampa Bay and Detroit tied at 3-3 in the 6th. Cleveland at Boston. Cleveland leads 4-2 into 5. 1-2 here to Iannetta. 2-2. White Sox lead Kansas City 1-0. Chris Sale another win last night. Man, oh man, that guy.
9-0.
Correct.
Yeah.
9-0 with a 1.58. 2-2 to Chris. And a line drive. Cozart throws back, double play. Tough break. Thought that might have been just high enough to get over Cozart's head, but not to be. 2-0 Reds. Calendar brought to you by Sleep Train. Wrap up this series on Sunday, then come home for the Athletics, the Twins, and then play home and home with San Diego, and then we'll see those Texas Rangers in that first weekend in June. Mariners enjoying first place right now, 23-17, a game-and-a-half lead over the Rangers. Iwakuma, very economical 7-pitch inning. One of the pitches was a home run, but 7 pitches nonetheless. That's a big help for him. He's got Jay Bruce leading off. Overload the right side of the infield for Bruce. First time up, he took a called third strike. Reached out and pulled it right to Adam Lind. One away here in the Reds' fourth. MLB TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. It delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 devices. It includes a free subscription to At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. So visit Mariners.com for details. Eugenio Suarez, third baseman. Took a called third strike on a 2-2 pitch from Iwakuma, leading off the second. First inning run for the Reds. Phillips an RBI double with 2 outs. And a leadoff homer in the third by Zach Cozart.
Second time through the lineup, and Iwakuma starting to mix in his curveball. Seen his curveball right around 70 miles an hour tonight. Typically we'll try to throw it over for a strike early in the count, try to steal a strike, hoping the hitter will just take it.
He goes to 3-0 to Suarez. And a 4-pitch walk to Suarez. So a walk follows up a strikeout looking. Second walk by Iwakuma. It's a second 4-pitch walk.
Bring up Adam Duvall. Duvall base hit his first time up. Mariners had the shift on him with 2 strikes. He hit the ball the other way for a base hit.
Well struck. Smitty will play it on the hop and get it back in. 2 for 2 night for Duvall. 2 men on, 1 out.
And for Iwakuma, he could use a double play ball right here with just the 1 out. Take a look at his ground ball rate this year on a splitter at 53%. Good sinking fastball at 47%, the slider at 38%. So I expect him to maybe use his split here with the left-handed hitter standing in and Barnhart the catcher.
One out, runners at first and second. Play Barnhart to pull. Marte, Cano, and Lind on the right side of the infield.
Red so far 0 for 1 runners in scoring position. Votto scored from first on the double by Felix, and then the solo home run by Cozart. Now the Reds scored their 2 runs.
One and 1. Puma, as per usual, get a couple guys on. Becomes even more deliberate. Got a 1-1 pitch here. And Cano, the dive, can't get it. Coming around is Suarez. He'll score. And the Reds take the lead to 3-0. RBI Barnhart is 8th.
And it's on its fastball. A number of times so far in the game where Iannetta is set up on the outside corner and Iwakuma's thrown his fastball in the inner half, and it's hurt him. That'll bring up the pitcher. Al Seager in on the grass, expecting the bunt. So is Adam Lynn.
1 out here.
You see Kyle, he put on the bump play, whatever they're going to run right here. Now he'll just tell Iwakuma, make sure that everybody's on the same page. Not unusual in the National League, this style of ball, for the pitcher to bunt with 1 out.
In his media session today, Scott Service, the Mariners skipper, said he loves National League ball. He played the bulk of his career, in fact his entire career, over here in the NL. Loves the double shift thing and all that stuff. Said he did it a lot in the bullpen, but it's a lot different in the dugout. And I was like, yeah, no question about it. There's Scott. Played many a game here in this ballpark in Riverfront Stadium. We're right down the street from Paul Brown Stadium, where the Bengals play. They've really revitalized the riverbanks here on the Cincinnati side. One Straley making no secret here. Gets the bunt down.
That's a good one.
With the tag on, runners move up. Two outs, runners at second and third.
He was able to bunt. Maybe it was a little slider, maybe the cut fastball at 86 miles an hour. Able to get the job done. I think they're going to put Cozart on. That's a good idea. He's been their hot hitter.
Yes, sir.
You can see his batting average on the year at .331. Billy Hamilton waiting on deck. Hamilton is 0 for 2 so far. Came into the game hitting .230. Hamilton a switch hitter, so he'll obviously face Iwakuma hitting left-handed.
First intentional walk, third of the night. First 2 walks, they've both scored. Billy Hamilton 0 for 2, a pop to third and a fly to center. 2 outs, bases loaded, 3-0 Cincinnati. A run in on the Barnhart RBI single.
Good numbers in his career with the bases loaded. So we'll put a little pressure on Iwakuma to throw a strike early in the count.
Hamilton, a real slasher type of hitter. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ball 1. 7th man to the plate here in the 4th inning. Bounce foul. Handled by Freddie Benavides. First base coach. Billy Hatcher coaches at third. Billy. Holdover from Dusty Baker's staff. Freddie.
Pretty good outfielder in his day.
Freddie. And Billy. Yeah, Billy for sure. You have no question about it. 1-1 here. Kuma needs some big pitches here.
That was one of them.
All 2 strikes. You can hear the groans of the Reds fans here. It's fireworks night, so a lot of people are sticking around after. 1-2, trying to get Hamilton. 2 outs, bases loaded. A slap shot into center field, and Martin is there. Damage limited to 1 run, 3 stranded, 3-0 Reds. Seattle Mariners baseball here on Root Sports, brought to you by Shag, where your friends live, and by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. About game time at 7:55 Eastern Time. Threatening skies out beyond right field. Well, and we're told there's another cell moving towards us. And right now we are about to play the top of the 5th with Cincinnati up 3-0.
Yeah, there's got to be a sense of urgency in the dugout. They're certainly aware that there might be some more rain, so let's see him score some runs here.
Martin, Iwakuma, and Marte. Martin, first time up, he walked in a 3-2 pitch. Two and 1 to Leonis. Two and 2. Martin 2 for 9 against Straley, who's in his 10th game, making his 7th start. Two pitch. Fouled out of play. Martin, the backbone of the Mariners defense in the outfield. He's been outstanding. Two. Counts run full. Time call. Get him one. Have Iwakuma bunt him over. Get the pitcher spot out of the way. There's Iwakuma, struck out his first time. 0 for 10 and swinging the bat in his big league career. Well, here we go. Martine's aboard. Second time he's walked. Third walk issued by Straley. 2 more games this weekend. CenturyLink what's next. Felix Hernandez will be his second start against Cincinnati. Goes against John Lamb, and then Wade Miley, who's really been throwing the ball well, goes against Alfredo Simon. Alfredo Simon, he was Simon when he was in Baltimore a few years ago. Bunt and goes foul.
That's the other thing. You think it would be easy, and he's been practicing this right here. But once you get out there and it's live pitching, and the guy throws the baseball at 90 miles an hour, probably looks like it's 100 to him, trying to get the bunt down.
Well, what a disadvantage for American League teams coming to National League parks. Might look like 150.
I'm telling you.
Man, oh man. You're not used to seeing that stuff. Third baseman Suarez backs up, but he's still on the infield grass. Martine's got good speed, pretty good lead. And the bunt. Oh, he got it down. And Votto will throw to Phillips. Sacrifice executed by Iwakuma. Nice. A 1 out, runner at second with plus speed. Top of the order coming up. Don't forget, stick around after the game. For Mariners postgame, it's presented by Delta Airlines. We're going to hear from Scott Service, a few others, and everybody going over to give a high five, some dap to Iwakuma after getting down the bunt. Nice job.
A little bit surprised that Straley threw him another fastball. I thought maybe he'd throw him a slider once he was up 0-2. Helped him out a little bit, but a good job by Iwakuma to get the bunt down. Marte 0 for 2. That was a strikeout.
I think it's the third time through here.
Grounded out to the first baseman. Votto his last time up. That was back in the second inning.
Mariners need a spark offensively. Foul ball. So far tonight, 3 hits, and they've been spread out. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth. Smitty with a single to right, first inning. Adam Lind a single to right in the second. Single to center field, Kyle Seager. Thanks to a couple of walks by Straley in the second, they did load him up but could not score.
0 for 4 runners in scoring position this evening. Had men in scoring position in 3 of the 5 innings. Let's see him cash him in.
Fourth time in the leadoff spot for Marte. Each week providing some kind of thrill for the Mariners. His defense has really been steady.
It has been. Early in the season made a few errors, but as of late he's really played well.
Did a nice job fouling off pitches here against Straley. 1 and 2. Runner at second, 1 out. Well, the Tampa Bay Ball Club playing well. 6-4 lead at Detroit. Bottom 6. 259 runners in scoring position for Marte as he keeps that the bat alive with another foul ball.
And continues to add to the pitch count of Straley. Now at 88 pitches. Talked about one of the keys getting into the bullpen, and for Straley, only pitched over 6 innings one time, 6 in the third. I'm not sure he's going to get that far tonight.
One and 2 to Marte. Fly ball right field for Jay Bruce. Two away here in the 5th inning. They'll bring up Seth Smith. 1 for 2 tonight. Rangers a 2-0 lead. Bottom 5 in Houston. Angels hosting the Orioles. That'll be in about 40 minutes. And the Yankees at Oakland. About Sonny Gray. He's going tonight. His ERA at 5.84.
Yeah, he's really struggled.
Go figure that. Smitty gets on top of a pitch and hits it hard to Phillips in the shift, and that will do it for the Mariners. Stranded runner at second. This game's now official. It's 3-0 Reds. Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Some AL West news nuggets. The Angels finalize a contract with Tim Lincecum for this season. Josh Reddick, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Got hurt in a game last night against the Yankees, and the Rangers going to get a new ballpark. And they're talking retractable roof. That means air conditioning when we go down there in June. It's 100 bajillion degrees.
That would help.
Scheduled to open in 2021. It's amazing. And the ballpark they're in now, what goes back to about 94. It's not like it's some ancient facility. Joey Votto, followed by Brandon Phillips and Jay Bruce. 3, 4, and 5 here against Iwakuma in the 5th inning.
On the Lincecum news showing him signing with the Angels, it sounds like it's going to be 20-25 days before he'll be available. He's going to have to go through his own spring training. Reddick ended up getting the thumb injury diving into the base. Like a late dive.
Yeah. Votto, left field for Seth Smith. Votto is 0 for 2 with the run scored. So Iwakuma tonight has struck out 3. He's walked 3. He's given up a home run to Zach Cozart. RBI double to Phillips. RBI single to Tucker Barnhart. Here's Phillips again. After the first inning RBI double, he flied out to center field.
And it was a big part of the keys in Baltimore, and they will be in this ballpark too. As a starter, you cannot afford to walk many batters. It will end up hurting you. You mentioned the 3 walks. Well, 2 of them have scored. 2 out of the 3 runs have scored, and they were put on with walks.
Phillips hits this well, right field. Going back Cruz, but he's there. Drainage must really be good out there, because I think you and I were both envisioning as we sat here during the rain, you know, splashing and splish splash. I'm taking a bath out there. I mean, it looks pretty good out there.
No, it does. It looks really good. Yeah, I was concerned about it seeing all the water, and when we had word that they were probably going to get the game in, I was worried about Cruz being in the outfield. Of course, there's no DH, so you want him in your lineup, and to do that, he has to play in the field. But the field looks like it's in really good condition right now.
Jay Bruce 0 for 2, strikeout looking, and a ground out to Lind at first. Mariners come in having won 2 of 3 in Baltimore. The Reds swept in 4 by Cleveland, outscored 43-16. So of course Cincinnati leads here 3-0. Here comes the 2-1. Took a lot off. Good pitch. Two and two. 2 out. Nobody on here in the 5th. Mariners will have Cano, Cruz, and Seager in the 6th inning. Good pitch. Strikes out Bruce. A 1-2-3 5th for Iwakuma. So he holds him at bay for that frame. See the big boys coming up when we return. 3-0 Reds. How about Dan Straley tonight, Mike?
He's really done a nice job of spotting his fastball tonight, keeping the ball down in the zone, using his changeup. As you see that strikeout on the changeup, mixing in his slider to the right-handers. You see that pitch right on the outside corner. But I think overall, Iwakuma goes down swinging his first time up. Throwing the ball well. The good news for the Mariners, they've been able to push his pitch count up as he gets started to pitch here in the 6th inning. He's at 90 pitches, so probably just one more inning for him. Season high is 112, 109 in his last outing.
There's Robinson Cano to lead it off. Ground out to second, ground out the first. He'll be followed by Cruz and Seager. Dan Straley, 5 previous starts against the Mariners, 0-2 with a 6.20 ERA. One to Robbie. Mariners were last here in 2013 and took 2 out of 3. Swing and a miss. One of those games, I think, was the game the Mariners lost. Aroldis Chapman was in the game, and we saw Mike Zunino get heated up for 102 miles an hour. That was hellacious from up here. I can only imagine down in the batter's box. 1-2 to Robbie. Ooh, jeez, that hurt. Man aboard. Second time Robbie's been hit this season.
Well, definitely trying to pitch him inside. Just gets away from him. It looks like it hits the padding on his elbow. So although Robbie doesn't like it, it's a good start for the Mariners here in the 6th.
Fourth hit batter by Straley. By the time you retired, had pads had just become in vogue?
There were a few guys that were starting to wear them.
High pop off the bat of Nelson Cruz. No play for Joey Votto. Strike one.
Most of the time when you saw it, it was because somebody had an injury from being hit before.
Right.
I think Barry was the one that started wearing it for every at bat. Of course, he stood right on top of the plate.
He sure did. My rollerblading days, I used to wear those all the time, and it was just so strange to see a guy up there at the plate wearing the same pads.
Mo Vaughn wore one as well.
That was an imposing figure at the plate. Mariners looking to stack some hits together. Stack them up here. Get some runs. Going off the catcher Barnhart. Ball and 2 strikes. 7-2 winners yesterday in Baltimore. Lost the middle game 5-2 and won the first game in Baltimore 10-0. Ball and 2 strikes to Cruz. Strike 3 called. Second time he's been chainsawed here tonight by Dan Straley. That's 5 strikeouts. Second time. Straley's got a hitter looking and a distressed look on Nelly's face, and Tom Hallian emphatic with the call. There's one down. Both times looking have been Mr. Cruz.
His move on the strikeout is tremendous, but I like the way that he really barks it out too. Not sure I would like it as much if I was standing at home plate, but up here it's entertaining.
Understood. No question about it. Kyle Seager, 1-0. Kyle a walk and a base hit to center. #100th pitch here. The other thing I'll give Tom credit for, he's been a lot more consistent and steady with his calls as opposed to some of the guys we've seen recently, particularly in that last homestand.
I think he's been really good tonight.
2-0 to Kyle. Drives it right field. Is it going to stay fair? No. Plenty of distance. First base umpire Tony Rendazzo, easy call for him. Yep. Tough break. Third baseman Suarez going over to the right side of the infield against Seager. Two balls, 1 strike. Pitched outside. 3-1.
Good job laying off of the changeup after that fastball on the inside corner that he hit foul. Came right back with a changeup.
3-1 to Kyle with Adam Lind on deck. Pitch to Seager. Hit hard. Blows it by Votto. Down into the corner. Cano checks with Maniacta. Comes to third, getting a wave on. He's going to score. And Seager will hold at second with an RBI double, and the Mariners on the board. It's 3-1 Cincinnati. RBI for Kyle Seager's 25th. He gets it done on his 11th double of the season.
And a really good at bat. Up, fastball up in the zone. You can see Kyle had to fight to get to it, but drives it past Votto at first. And another extra base hit for Kyle.
The ball rattled around out there, and Cano was able to score. Tying run to the plate coming up with Adam Lind.
Kyle now with 25 RBIs on the year. Well, there we go. We're hoping the Mariners could get into the bullpen. You can see them cranking it up. We showed you their ERA, bullpen ERA at 6.5.
Woo. AC Ramirez heating up. Pitching coach out there, Mark Riggins. Well, the bullpen has a lot to do with that. And Ken Griffey Jr. always tells us, like I have bathroom here. Ball's going to carry. Mariners a big blast away from tying it right here. Adam Lind, a run in, one out, and a runner on. Adam today, base hit to right and a fly to center. So Cano starts the inning off getting hit by a pitch, scores on the double. 1-1, Adam. One pitch. Oh, good changeup. 1-2.
Yeah, the Mariners putting a lot of pressure on Straley. Joel Peralta getting loose. But made his pitches when he's needed to. The Mariners 0 for 6 runners in scoring position tonight.
Great opportunity. We got Brandon Phillips playing in short right field against Lind. He hits this one hard. Left center field. Billy Hamilton's got good speed. He dives and makes the catch. Just flat out ran it. That had double written all over it. What a play.
Maybe a couple of center fielders in the game make this play. He had to cover a lot of ground. You can see the long strides and the diving effort by Hamilton, taking that hit away, costing the Mariners a run.
Boy, that could be a pivotal play in a ball game. That could have been the second run for the Mariners with the third run at second base. Nice play by Billy Hamilton. Outstanding. See if Chris Iannetta could do something here with 2 outs. Chris has struck out, lined into a double play. He had Seager at first, and a line drive right at the shortstop Cozart. He fielded, and that one down the line foul, and threw out Seager at first.
Chris out in front of a slider. Slider that was left right in the middle of the play. You can see it on our QC tracer. Oh, and 1 to Chris.
Way out in front again. Just 2 career hits against Straley for Iannetta. Two outs, runner at second. Pitch. Rolls over on one, throws it. Kozar throws him out, and that'll do it. Mariners do get a run and leave a runner stranded. RBI double by Kyle Seager. It's a 3-1 ball game, and what a catch by Billy Hamilton. Rail stations on Capitol Hill and at the UW are now open. Plan your trip at soundtransit.org. Good look at downtown Cincinnati. I'm sure every broadcaster of a certain age that comes through here says, "Where's Dr. Johnny Fever?" WKRP in Cincinnati. It was a great show. Put Cincinnati back on the map along with the Reds and everybody else. Venus flytrap. Most of the 19th century is a top 10 city in population. Cincinnati. There's Suarez.
Well, with the Mariners down a couple of runs, Iwakuma's still out there. You can see at 85 pitches, this will be his last inning. Iwakuma is due up second in the top of the 7th inning. We'll see a pinch hitter for him.
There's a strike. Ball and 2 strikes. 3 infielders left side for Suarez. He struck out looking, walked, and scored. A 4-pitch walk, 1 out in the 4th. He came around to score after Duvall and Barnhart delivered singles. Single by Barnhart scored him. And he did commit, and he knew it. Strikeout number 5 for Iwakuma. 1 down here in the 6th.
We'll take a look at it. They want the fastball down. It is down again, missing his spot. And that is set up on the inside corner. That was off the plate away. It gets him to chase it.
1 out brings up Adam Duvall, the left fielder. He's had a heck of a night here with a single to center. Single to left. Blake Wood, right-hander, heating up. Bouncing ball to Seager. 2 outs. Two down here in the red 6th. The Mariners and Safeco Insurance invite you to do more with a Grand Slam family package at select games this season. A ticket, a hot dog, and a Pepsi. They're available at a special package value price. Your next opportunity is coming up on Wednesday at 7:10. The A's will be in town, so get your tickets at mariners.com. Ball one to Tucker Barnhart. 1 for 2. RBI single in the 4th. That next homestand for the Mariners. 3 with Minnesota, 2 with San Diego, and 3 with Oakland.
And the Mariners have the shift on. Barnhart hitting.
That was Steve Selski. He's going to pinch hit. Oh, good looking bunt. Base hit.
That was interesting to me because Barnhart in his first at bat after a strike, the Mariners had Kyle Seager go back to the shortstop position. He showed bunt, did not get it down, so Kyle came back in and ended up taking that pitch for a ball. And after a strike this time, Kyle goes back. He was looking into the dugout. The coaching staff told Kyle to go back, and Barnhart was watching it, and here you go. Ends up with a base hit.
2-out gimme.
Now Stottlemyre making a trip out to the mound. Selski will pinch hit. So Straley done for the night.
Selski just brought up from AAA Louisville today. They had to put a pitcher on the DL, right-hander Tim Adelman. So Selski, 16 appearances in the outfield, 14 appearances at first base. At Louisville, a .275 hitter. Major League debut. Well, a thrill for Selski making his big league debut. Coming trying to put him away with 2 outs.
And quickly ahead of him 0-2. I'd like to see him finish it. Yeah, Cozart waiting on deck. He's been a hot hitter for him. Already homered in this game. And Iwakuma at 95 pitches is just about done. Again, his spot due up second in the top of the 7th.
The 0-2. 66 years since a Red homered in his first big league AB. It was Ted Tapp who did it 66 years ago. Selski out of Manhattan Beach, California. Strike 3 called. He gets chainsawed in his first AB. He'll remember that. 3-1 Reds. So we go to the 7th here in Cincinnati. take you back to the 6th inning. Mariners got a run in, and we're looking for more off the bat of Adam Lind, but Billy Hamilton said, nah, I don't think so.
And that was with 1 out. Kyle Seager at second base. The Mariners looking for a base hit with a runner in scoring position, but Hamilton, what a play.
It's an exceptional play, one of the better ones we've seen in person this year. Really good stuff. There's Billy out center field. Let's see if the Mariners can get something going here. I think the wish has been attained. They're into the Reds bullpen, Mike.
That's what we were hoping for. You see Dan Straley pitched well tonight. 6 innings, only 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. He threw 110 pitches, 68 of those for strikes. But his night is done.
New pitcher's Blake Wood.
And as you would expect, Aoki out on deck for the Mariners. For Blake Wood, 21 appearances, 3-0 record, ERA to 3.10. 20 1/3, 16 strikeouts, 14 walks, a lot of walks. Opponent's hitting .237 against him. Good fastball at 95 miles an hour.
Martin trying to get on base. Mariners only run. Kyle Seager RBI double in the 6th. Billy Hamilton cannot make the play there. He's lucky he didn't short hop him. Base hit, nicely done by Martin to get things going.
He's been on base all 3 times, and he's walked twice, and now this bullet that he hits into center field. He hit it so hard, I thought I had a chance to skip by Hamilton.
Sure.
Wet grass.
Right. Yeah, it was a perfect setup, and if it takes a low skip, you know, he's running, he's got a triple.
Maybe more. Aoki's going to pinch hit for Iwakuma.
Aoki representing the tying run. Martin, best base stealer for the Mariners. He's 7 out of 10. Strike 1 to Aoki. Monty on the left. Mike Montgomery and Joel Peralta on your right. Mike Hampton, the bullpen coach out there, rubbing up a few baseballs. Blake Wood ready. 0-1 here to Aoki. Runner at first. Runner goes. Good jump. Hit the other way. Base hit. Shortstop was going to cover. Martin will cruise to third. And here come the Mariners. Runners at the corners. Nobody out.
And Aoki now 3 for 3 as a pinch hitter. It's it right where Cozart, the shortstop, was standing, but he went to cover, as Dave mentioned. Martin on the move, hit it hard into left field. And a great start for the Mariners here in the 7th inning. Bring up Marte looking for his first hit. Leadoff hitter in tonight's ball game, 0 for 3.
Good situation for the Mariners. Their first multi-hit inning. Way outside. And a left-hander, Tony Cingrani, heating up for Cincinnati.
Cingrani is the only left-hander in the pen for the Reds.
Good count here for Marte. 2-0 with 2 on. Reds got a run in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Mariners run in the 6th. Good rip by Marte on a 2-0 pitch.
He tried to get after that fastball. 95 miles an hour.
Seth Smith is on deck. He's 1 for 3.
I don't think that was his normal swing either.
No.
He tried to hit that one out of the ballpark.
He was thinking Ohio River. Here we go, 2-1. Broke his bat. At least it sounded like it did. 2-2. 6th inning, Mariners got their run. Robbie Cano on a 1-2 pitch was hit by a pitch. Cruz struck out looking for the 2nd time, and then an RBI double to right by Kyle Seager. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Marte. A couple of men aboard. Full count.
Here's tonight's attendance, 20,435. 20435.
You can hear the announcement. 20,435 on hand here. Great American Ballpark. Mariners were here in 2013. Went 2 out of 3, and that's up high with ball 4. And the Mariners, how about this? They got them loaded for Seth Smith. What an opportunity now for the Mariners. Martin at 3rd, Aoki at 2nd, and Marte at 1st.
And seeing that walk gives you an idea of why their bullpen has an ERA at 6.5. Earlier in the game, we were talking about how they've given up so many home runs from the 7th inning on, but they've also walked a lot of batters. And see the Mariners take advantage of this bases loaded situation. Nobody out. Best part of their lineup coming up. Seth Smith, Robinson Cano waiting on deck. Well, you can see the ERA, 6.48 ERA. That's last in Major League Baseball. And they've allowed runs in 34 of the 41 games this year. 23 straight games allowing a run. Major League record.
See if the Mariners can contribute to adding on to that record. Smitty looks at ball 1. Getting started with Martin. A solid smash to center field for a base hit. Aoki with Martin on the run. Shot one through the left side. Shortstop was covering. Shot it into left field. Marte walks, and now they're loaded. 350 career hitter with the bases loaded, Seth Smith. Hey, boy, does he have a good count here. 2-0. What a good swing on it.
He's a good fastball hitter. And Blake Wood, his fastball has been consistently at 95 miles an hour. Trying to keep it away from him.
Bases loaded. And there's a strike at 2-1.
Seth thought that was down. And according to the EQC tracer, it was.
So 2-1. Bases loaded. Nobody out. 3-1 Reds. Big pitch at 2-1. Way outside. 3-1. I think the men on the bases, Martin, Aoki, and Marte. Get your motor running. Three-1 to Smitty. Takes it for ball 4. We got a 3-2 ball game. Bases still loaded. Nobody out. RBI for Seth, his 16th. Boy, you got to like this. Robbie Cano coming up. Bases filled.
And there's going to be a pitching change. Getting the left-hander, Cingrani.
Scoring on a play is Martin. Everybody else moves up. The Mariners with the chance to take the lead when we come back. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Robinson Cano coming to the dish. Thank you very much. As the Mariners get their wish, they get into the bullpen of the Reds. And let's take you back to the 26th of April. Bases juiced. This in Houston, and Cano, and this was in Seattle, obviously, and this was fabulous. A grand slam by Robbie Cano. You can still feel the electricity from that night when he hit that one. Well, he's up here now with the bases loaded again. The Mariners made it a 3-2 ball game. A bases loaded walk to Seth Smith.
And nobody out.
Tony Cingrani, first pitch.
Hit him.
Second time Robbie's hit. We got a tie ball game at 3-3.
Back-to-back at bats. He was hit in the 6th inning and scored the run, and now hit again.
Scoring on the play, Aoki. We'll take him any way you can get him. Anybody else up a base?
Right off the same elbow pad. Another RBI, 37 RBIs now, and Brian Price. There's not much you can do when you're getting your guys from the bullpen. They come in and they're walking people and then hitting people.
Yeah, that's a problem. So Mr. Cruz clear him. Back-to-back plate appearances, has taken a called third strike. Went up to Nelly in the clubhouse before the game. I said, I really bummed I didn't see you take BP. Come on now. He said the only time he hit here was during the All-Star game, during Home Run Derby.
Well, he has a good count, 2-0. Cingrani, a good fastball, right around 95.
Oh, yeah. Everybody back home was doing the same thing. Oh. Two and one to the boomstick. Bases loaded, nobody out. Tie ball game at 3-3.
Cingrani able to get back in the count on a couple of fastballs on the outside corner.
Only the sixth man to the plate here in the 7th inning. Mariners have tied it up. Bases loaded walk and a bases loaded hit batter. Trying to take the lead for the first time here tonight. Pitch. Well, you know one thing, he's not going to look at a called third strike for a third time in a row, especially not with the bases loaded, nobody out.
That was a borderline pitch right there, and he couldn't afford to take it. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, probably just off the outside corner.
Starting to rain again. A lot of light rain coming our way, nothing heavy. Should be able to finish this up. 2-2 to Nelly. Struck him out. K 3 times tonight, first time swinging.
All fastballs. This one is best one at 96 miles an hour.
See if Kyle Seager can pick him up. Seager's having a good night, 2 for 2, an RBI, walked in his first time up, single to center, an RBI double down the right field line in the 6th. One out, bases loaded, 7th man to the plate for the Mariners. Strike one. Oh, on to Kyle. Outside, ball one. Light rain falling here. Some of the folks in the lower stand starting to make their way to cover. 1-1 pitch to Kyle. Taking first strike, 1-2. Cincinnati, third pitcher tonight for the Reds. Straley started 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, earned 3 walks, 5 Ks. Lakewood gave up 2 hits. Runners his responsibility. Strike 3 called. Two outs. This Sunday, join Dan Wilson, Jay Buhner, Randy Johnson, and more special guests at the All-Star Softball Classic at Safeco Field. Your ticket's going to help at-risk youth win the battle for their future. Visit uwkc.org for tickets. Kids 14 and under get in for free.
Dae-Ho Lee is going to pinch hit for Adam Lynn.
What do you think goes through his mind in these situations? He's got a pinch hit, and again, everybody, for the most part, 98% of the time, he's seeing a guy for the very first time.
Well, the good news for him is this time around he watched Cingrani pitch to Nelson Cruz, and I don't think this is going to be much different. He went right at Nelson with his fastball away.
Dae-Ho Lee with the bases loaded, now 2 outs. Fastball at 94 for a strike. There you go, base hit, right field. Mariners have the lead. Martin scores, Mike that Marte scores, and Smitty right behind him. So Dae-Ho Lee with a fist pump, 2-run single, 5-3 Mariners. No waiting around up there. Dae-Ho, a couple of runs batted in, gives him 11 on the season.
And again, smart hitting. I'm sure he was paying attention when Nelson was there. There's the fastball, middle away. Try to do too much with it, just get the barrel on it. Hits it hard into right field. And Dae-Ho Lee comes off the bench to get the Mariners' first hit with a runner in scoring position. They are now 1 for 11, 0 for 10 up to that point. So a big hit for Lee.
Very much so. Here's Iannetta, 9th man to the plate. Way upstairs. (5-3) Seattle lead.
Mariners 2 for 2 with pinch hitters. Don't forget about Aoki.
That's right.
Came up with a base hit in this inning off the bench.
Whoa, they got him picked off. There's a play to the plate, and they get him. It's not the way you wanted to see that inning end, but the Mariners take the lead. Dae-Ho Lee knocks in a couple of bases loaded walk by Seth Smith, a 5-3 Mariner lead. Time to check winning numbers played today. Mariners put up a nice 4 spot, top of the 7th. They have taken the lead. This last play under review. Cano. And I don't know if you can see how definitive that was. Tom Hallion looked like he was in great position. The tag made. You can't really see it there. A very So the Mariners come up with 4 runs on 3 hits and leave a man. In the top of the 7th. Got some rain coming down now. Scott Service talking to Tom Hallion while the other umpires were consulting with New York. Take a timeout. Be back to Cincinnati in a moment. Two-run base hit, and the Mariners built a very nice inning in the 7th, scoring 4 times to take the lead. Cincinnati Reds, as you probably know, a very historic franchise, charter member of the National League. Had some greats there. Lou Piniella took them to their last world title back in 1990. The Big Red Machine, who could forget them? 4 pennants, 2 World Series titles. The great Johnny Bench, stalwart in that era of great Cincinnati baseball. Sashi Iwakuma, the starter for the Mariners. He's done for tonight, but he stands in line to get the win.
6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. 3 walks. 2 of those walks ended up scoring. That hurt him a little bit tonight. 6 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches, 63 of those for strikes. Mike Montgomery going to take over for the Mariners. Hard-throwing left-hander. His fastball right around 95 miles an hour. He's pitched well. ERA just over 2. 17 strikeouts, 7 walks, and 21 2/3. Opponents hitting just 181 off of Mike.
Monty's got the top of the order for the Reds. Zach Cozart, Billy Hamilton, Joey Votto. Good start with the first pitch strike. Cozart homered in the 3rd. It's 1 for 2. Grounded out to shortstop and was intentionally walked. Ground ball to Marte. Throws over to DeHo Lee. 1 away. Still light rain falling here in Cincinnati. Bring up Billy Hamilton. Made one of the better defensive plays you're going to see. Center field, 6th inning. Took extra bases away from Adam Lynn diving for a ball. Left center field for out number 2 and saved a run.
Kyle Seager in on the grass. DeHo Lee also playing up, as is Robinson Cano.
Up the middle, base hit. Billy Hamilton with his first hit. Buckle up, and you are twice as likely to survive a crash. Please click it or ticket. Let's reach our target 0 goal together. 0 traffic deaths in your family and 0 traffic deaths in our state. 1 out, 1 on. Bottom 7. Mariners with a 5-3 lead. Here's Joey Votto.
Mariners have the shift on with Votto hitting. Votto so far tonight 0 for 2. He did walk in the 1st inning and score a run.
Votto starting this season a career .311 hitter. You can see he's well below that average this year. Hamilton 8 out of 10 in stolen bases. Here's a foul ball. Joey tonight walked and scored. Ground out to first, flat out to left. Mariners hold on and win this game for Iwakuma. It would be his 2nd victory against 4 losses. Fly ball left field, measured by Seth Smith, hanging in the corner, couldn't make the catch, ran out of room.
This ball was going down the line. I thought he would have room, but clearly not. Right up against the padding in left field. Moved a lot towards the wall.
Tough break. So 1-2 to Votto. And a dominant offensive player for the Reds dating back to 07. I'd make that 08. There's Seager, Marte, and they turned a double play right on time. Needed it, and they get it here in the 7th. Mike Montgomery comes in, does a nice job here in the 7th inning. 5-3 Mariners. No, take it easy now. We got to get back to the hotel. Take it easy, all right? Come on. It's a short walk. I don't want to get too wet, okay? But thank you, Angie.
J.C. Ramirez going to take over. 4.5 ERA for him in 16 innings. He has 14 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .211. Good fastball slider split combination.
Ramirez with the Mariners for 8 games last year, went 0-1. Ionetta's going to lead it off. He was at the dish when Dahill Lee was picked off at first, and then they threw home to get Cano, who tried to score during the rundown. Ooh, look out. Ramirez, as you can see, hard throwing right-hander. He's out of Managua, Nicaragua, 27 years old. Came over from the Diamondbacks last July to the Mariners. Became a free agent at the end of the season and signed in late November by the Reds. Two and one.
A little bit of drizzle happening right now. Ramirez looks like he's having a tough time with his spikes, as you see Nick Benson getting loose in the Mariners pen. And he throws 97. That's a little bit uncomfortable if you're trying to hit.
Yes, indeed. 2-1. 3-1. Ooh. Man, that's off the helmet of Barnhart. Thank you, Johnny Bench, for going to the helmet and inspiring several generations of catchers. Three and two. Nice take there by Ionetta. He walks. Good start to the Mariners' 8th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. These folks covering up from the light rain that started a few minutes ago. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew here. First of 3 in Cincinnati. We had a 45-minute delay to start this ball game as Martin tries to bunt his way on. Got this game started at 7:55. Mariners trailed all the way up until the 7th inning when they put 4 on the board. 4-run inning on 3 hits. Take a 5-3 lead.
Martin's had a good night, been on base all 3 times. A couple of walks, a base hit, a scored a run. Franklin Gutierrez is going to pinch hit for the pitcher Montgomery.
0-1 pitch here to Martin. Big swing and a miss. 0-2.
Saw Martin trying to bunt on the first pitch. He was bunting for a hit, not trying to sacrifice. Quickly in a hole. 0-2.
It's this one. Right field. Long run. Bruce. It is off his glove. Ionetta to second. He'll hold it third. A double for Lennox Martin. Good 2-strike hitting. And that's his 5th double of the season. His 2nd hit tonight. He's 2 for 2 with 2 walks, on base 4 times.
And an impressive swing. 95 miles an hour. You can see Barnhart, the catcher, he wanted it up out of the strike zone. Ramirez gets it there, and it goes right off the side of the glove of Bruce as he crashes into the wall. So another great situation for the Mariners.
You bet.
The Reds will bring their infield in with nobody out. And Franklin Gutierrez pinch hitting. So far, the Mariners pinch hitting 2 for 2. Aoki with a hit and Lee with a hit.
Lee drove in 2 in the 7th inning. Great to see that productivity from the bottom of the order. Martin in the 8th hole. Walk, single, run scored, and a double. Goody looks at a strike. Last 2 position players for the Mariners, Clevenger, the catcher, and O'Malley, who can play infield and outfield. Drawn in infield. Runners at second and third, nobody out for the Mariners. Right back to the third baseman, Suarez, who throws out Goody. Are you the ultimate Northwest fan in the state of Oregon? Well, then Roots Sports is looking for you throughout the month of May. Submit a photo and story on our website at rootsports.com/ultimate-fan. And you could win a VIP trip for 2 to Seattle in September, personalized jersey, and more. It's presented by Country Financial. For official rules, visit rootsports.com.
Back to the top of the order. Marte stepping in. This is his 5th plate appearance of the night. 0 for 3. He did walk in the 7th inning and score a run.
Bottom 9, Texas leads at Houston 2-0. Baltimore leads at the Angels 2-0, top of the 2nd. And Oakland leads at home against the Yankees 1-0, top of the 3rd. 0-1 to Marte, trying to pick up a couple of runs. And this will get one for sure. Nice job by Ketel. There's Iannetta. He'll score easily, and the Mariners have a 6-3 lead. RBI for Marte, his 14th. We'll be on the air at 12:30 tomorrow. CenturyLink What's Next will be Felix Hernandez making his 2nd career start against a Cincinnati Red. John Lamb on the mound with a big ERA, almost near 6. And look at that opponent's batting average at .316. Nice job by Marte. Sac fly. Pick up a run. Here's Seth Smith. Broken bat ground ball to Brandon Phillips. Throws him up. And that'll do it. Mariners tack on another run. 6-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Cincinnati. Mariners going for their 3rd win on this road trip. brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by Jack in the Box, taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo only at Jack in the Box. Second visit since 2013 to the Queen City, Cincinnati. Good to be here at Great American Ballpark again, where the Mariners have rallied to take a 6-3 lead over the Reds. And Nick Vincent's going to take over on the mound, the second man out of the bullpen for Scott Service and the Mariners. Sashi Iwakuma in line to get the victory.
And for Nick, 18 appearances on the year, 2-1 record. Really good ERA, 1.56 ERA, 21 strikeouts, only 2 walks, and 17 and a third. Opponents hitting 180. Nick typically comes out throwing strikes. His fastball anywhere from 88 to 92 miles an hour. He also mixed in a cutter and a slider with it.
His first batter is going to be Brandon Phillips, and a great story about Nick Vincent. Who knew when he was acquired in the last couple of days of spring training, San Diego had a surplus of relievers in the bullpen. And here's Nick Vincent coming in and performing well after there was a couple of guys. Was it Casey Coleman, and there was somebody else that pitched really well during spring training for the Mariners.
Roush.
Right, pitched really well, and
Down Roush, yeah.
Nick has done a heck of a job here. Punch shot that goes foul. Mariners still waiting for Tony Zick to come back. Charlie Furbush probably in about a month. So he's going to do a full spring training like.
Yeah, he needs it.
Yeah, he does.
And you look at the situation here for Nick Vincent. He's pitched so well, and now he's pitching here in the 8th inning. Mariners just getting Benoit back. He pitched yesterday, I believe it was. Yeah, yesterday. So today he's not out there, but Scott Service gained a lot of confidence in putting him here in the 8th inning.
Phillips, Bruce, and Suarez coming up, swing and a miss. A good start for Nick Vincent to get Brendan Phillips one down. And that was a quick dispatch. Come see a triple play at Safeco Field on Friday, May 27th. Mariners will roll out 3 exciting events: Bomberhead Night, College Night, and a post-game fireworks show. Maybe the best Friday ever. So don't miss out. Pick up tickets now at Mariners.com. Bomberhead Night, College Night, and post-game fireworks. Your model there was Chris Iannetta.
Jay Bruce standing in. Mariners have the shift on with him hitting. Marte over on the right side of the infield. Grounds crew putting a little bit of diamond dry around the first base area in between innings.
Bruce 0 for 3, strikeout looking, ground out and a strikeout. Reds got a first inning run on a Brandon Phillips 2-out RBI double. Added to it in the 3rd, home run by Zach Cozart straightaway center field. Made it 3-0 in the 4th. Barnhart with an RBI single. Mariners didn't get on the board until the 6th inning. Seager double in a run. And then 8 men come to the plate in the 7th inning. Cano picks up an RBI with the bases loaded. He was hit by a pitch. Smitty was walked in with the bases loaded. Dae-Ho Lee singled in 2. Big league pop up. Cruz coming in, makes a catch, fair territory. Cano had a beat on it and then sort of lost it, and I'm sure the rain didn't help, especially from the angle he was looking up. Make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag #RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out the top 5 fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan's going to win a Coors Light Refresherator just for participating. Nick Vincent, 2 quick outs here in the 8th. Got Eugenio Suarez. Struck out looking, walked and scored a run, and then struck out swinging in the 6th. Iwakuma started, went 6 innings of 6 hit, 3-run ball, 3 walks and 6 Ks. Did give up a home run.
And Nick quickly ahead again. It's interesting watching him go about his business. He goes right at you, and he's not the guy that has the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Again, his fastball right around 90, but he will throw a little cutter with it. He can sink it at times, mix his slider in, but more importantly, work ahead.
Oh, good pitch. Strikes out Suarez, and Nick Vincent comes in and goes 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Mariners 6-3 as we go to the ninth. Robinson Cano going to lead it off, and he's going to lead off against Jose Rafael Diaz, better known as Jumbo Diaz, the new pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. Cano last time up, hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, drove in a run. Here's Jumbo out of La Romana in the Dominican Republic. Mike, 32 years old, 6'4", 280. He had to lose 70 to get to 280.
Amazing. That's why he wears 70 on his jersey.
Yes, sir. And how about he got up to the bigs at age 30 in 2014. And this will be his 107th game. And he rushes it up there, Chapman like, I'm told. So Cano, Cruz, and Seager. A couple of countrymen going head to head here. Cano and Jumbo Diaz. And he wears glasses, too. Oh, my.
Caught a spike. Cano with a 10-game road hitting streak on the line. He's been hit a couple of times tonight, last 2 at bats.
Boy, that's some sight coming downhill at you. They did work on the mound and the bases. I mean, it brings to mind the Willie Mays Bob Veal story about here's a guy that throws this hard. He's got glasses on. He wants to take them off. No, no, no. Put them back on. Ground ball to Kozart. And Cano is retired. So 1 away here in the 9th on this Sunday, May 22nd. Join Seattle Seahawks Jermaine Kearse, John Ryan, Cooper Helfett, and more special guests at the All-Star Softball Classic at Safeco Field. Your ticket's going to help at-risk youth win the battle for their future. So grab your All-Star Classic tickets now at uwkc.org. Kids under 14 get in free. Nelson Cruz looks at 96 and strike one. Nelly's had a tough night. Fly to the right, then he struck out looking, and struck out swinging. Jumbo Diaz. And Jumbo this. Upper deck. Nelson Cruz. Boom, stick, baby. 9th home run, his 28th RBI.
And he turned around 95 miles an hour on a fastball, middle in.
Well, we wanted to see him leave this yard, and he did.
And it gets out in a hurry.
Oh. Now, that wasn't like the one he highlighted out in Baltimore. He got this one.
Take another look at the swing by Nelson Cruz. His fastball running back in, and he just cuts it off right out in front.
421 feet of home run for Nelson Cruz.
And it didn't take long to get there.
I want to see that exit velo.
Working on it. You know I do.
Yeah, all right. Good news, there is no casualties.
Kyle Seager's had a good night. He's 2 for 3. Been on base 3 times, a walk, a single, and a double. Also picked up an RBI.
107 in your exit velo. Sure they didn't cheat him a little bit?
I think maybe a little. I thought we'd get a 110, 111 out of that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. 3-1 to Kyle. Seager rides one. Going back is Duvall and makes a catch on the track for out number 2. Two more games. Wrap up this road trip, a short road trip. CenturyLink brings you what's next. Felix goes against John Lamb, and Wade Miley throwing the ball really well goes against Alfredo Simon.
Yeah, for Wade, his last 3 or 4 starts have been really good.
Yeah. His pacing's always good. The command's been outstanding. The breaking ball's been strong. He's a changeup.
He's a strike thrower, and I think first couple of outings of the year, just too many strikes in the middle of the plate. Now he's able to move the ball around a little bit more. Had a really good changeup.
There's Dale Lee driving one. Dale gone. Home run. Off the bench to knock in 3. 2 for 2 night for Dale Lee. Good for him. Dale Lee, home run number 6. He's driven in 12 now on the season.
And this is going to be on a breaking ball. Spinner right in the middle of the plate. I think it hits off the top of the wall and bounces out. And it does, right off the top of the padding.
Oh, 1 pitch. Here's Iannetta. Slow start for the Mariners and a big finish. 8-3 here in the 9th.
That home run by Dae-Ho Lee gives him double digits in the hits category again.
Nice.
Yep.
2 more home runs, 57 on the season. And that is swing and a miss. He's gone, but Jumbo Diaz He got supersized by Nelson Cruz and Dae-Ho Lee with home runs to make it an 8-3 Seattle lead. And watch Mariners take batting practice with Mariners team president Kevin Mather right behind the batting cage. Save the date, June 1. And you could bid on auction items like this during Mariners Care Charity Night, and all proceeds benefit Mariners Care. If you've never been behind a big league batting cage during batting practice, you may want to bid on this one. That's going to be a thrill for you.
Especially with the guy that was in the picture.
Yeah, good point.
Sean O'Malley going to take over in right field.
Good point.
So Nelson Cruz's evening is done. Joel Peralta is going to pitch here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
It's the bottom third of the order for the Reds.
19 appearances, 1-0 record, 4.96 ERA. Really pitched well in April, struggling a little bit here in May. 22 strikeouts though in 16 1/3. That's a good number for him. Opponent's hitting .242. His fastball at 90 miles an hour, mixing a slider and a split.
Do a shout out to all the Mariner fans back home in Seattle at Safeco Field for Billy Joel's concert tonight, watching in the ballpark at Safeco Field. And you're going to enjoy, if you've not seen Billy Joel before, if you've seen him a million times before, you're going to see a great show. Strike one to Adam Duvall, the left fielder. He's batting in the 7-hole, Tucker Barnhart. And of course, there'll be a pinch hitter. Peralta's mission, 5-run cushion, throw strikes. Oh, and 2. Duvall tonight, couple of hits and a ground out, 2 for 3.
And that's what you want to see. Quickly ahead, 0-2.
Mariners have scored in each of the last 4 innings, 1 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. Reds got runs in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Popped up. Dae-Ho Lee taking a look. He's got a play. 1 out.
Mariners tonight taking advantage of some walks, a couple of hit batters, and of course a couple of home runs and a clutch base hit by Dae-Ho Lee with the bases loaded, driving in a couple of runs, and he also has a solo home run. That's off the bench.
Yep.
So a productive night for him.
But Cano hit twice tonight. He scored in the 6th and drove in a run being hit in the 7th. Barnhart.
Mariners have the shift on with Barnhart hitting.
He beat the shift with a bunt down the 3rd baseline last time up. RBI single to right in the 4th. Ramon Cabrera is on deck. Switch hitter. Here's the 1-1. In there for strike. Two, Tucker Barnhart. Good second half of this ball game for the Mariners, getting it done in some light rain. Two and two. Peralta's worked a full count to the second hitter here in the ninth inning, a 5-run lead.
A lot of high fastballs. Tough time getting it down in the zone. See the last one borderline up, borderline on the corner.
Peralta ready. Pretty good battle work in here. "40 years young, Joel Peralta." Pitch. Base hit the other way. Well, we've seen some good stuff from the Mariners, but the other part where that has highly entertained us tonight, Mr. Tom Hallian. Yeah, ring 'em. The chainsaw, well oiled tonight. I like that roar. Like you said, the roar to go with it just tops it off, doesn't it?
It's great. It's entertaining. Has some style. I like it.
And he's called a good game. He's been consistent.
He's done a really good job behind the plate tonight. So yeah.
How about this?
And he's just as wet as everybody else that's out there.
Yeah, you know it. 1 out, 1 on. Ramon Cabrera off the bench to pinch hit. As you know, you can see a lot of numerical oddities in baseball. How about this? The Mariners are 1 for 13 runners in scoring position with 8 LOBs and still have an 8-3 lead.
Strange game. It happens like that sometimes. You know what they did, though? Exactly what the game plan was. The Reds have really struggled in their bullpen, a 6.5 ERA. And we talked about it before the game with Straley pitching today, and he pitched well. But get his pitch count up, get him out of the game, and take advantage of that bullpen. And that's exactly what we've seen.
And they continue the theme that we've been talking about first, second innings, driving up that pitching count for the starters.
Right.
I mean, we've seen that for a long time now.
And a 1 for 13 runners in scoring position, and that is from a pinch hitter off the bench in Dae-Ho Lee. He's the one that picked up the only hit.
That was huge. That 90 looked a lot faster than it usually is, and Cabrera strikes out number 2. Nice work by Peralta. Also been entertained by Nelson Cruz rallying after striking out 3 times in the 9th. Just a monster blast off of Jumbo Diaz. Dae-Ho Lee followed 2 batters later. Runner takes off. He'll get second on his difference. Zach Cozart homered back in the 3rd. One to Cozart. Slicing drive. O'Malley's got it covered, and the Mariners take game 1 of this 3-game set. Convincing fashion with some second half blasting by Dae-Ho Lee, Nelson Cruz. A lot of good stuff happened tonight as the Mariners go 3-1 on this road trip.
It was good to see Iwakuma get another win, his 2nd win on the season. But the Mariners taking advantage of a bullpen that has really struggled. Again, 6.5 ERA. And Dae-Ho Lee drives in 3 runs, including a huge, at the time, a huge base hit with the bases loaded. His pinch hit appearance there.